Now at 6, the mayor is about to unveil a revised version of his budget. What it includes after many weren't happy with the original.
A former TikTok star caught on camera admitting to shooting his wife. More of the new video shown in court.
I just want to shrimp.
I'd go for the biscuits personally.
No more Cheddar Bay biscuits. A local Red Lobster just closed as the company faces bankruptcy.
You're watching CBS 8 Mornings at 6.
Glad you're with us here at 6 a.m. on this Tuesday, everybody. I'm Eric Connors.
And I'm Neda Rampur. Yes, thank you for joining us. You may notice, something hanging out with you this morning again. The clouds. Let's check in with meteorologist Evan Arani.
I thought you were going to say me. I was like, yeah, I am hanging out here yet again.
And by the way,
we're all hanging out.
You're going to be leaving us here for a little while. And it's not because of jury duty this time.
No, exactly. Not jury duty. I know. I'm going to be gone for 2 weeks. I'm going to Sweden, Denmark, Norway.
Look at this
Thank
world
you.
traveler.
Am I seeing Taylor Swift while I'm there?
Taylor Swift.
I'm not going to answer that.
There's a high chance.
I don't have to
There's a high
answer
probability.
It is 6:01 right now. We're taking a look outside over the next 12 hours as we watch those clouds start to break apart. It's going to be a little while that we wait on our coastal communities to see that sun. However, inland valleys are going to be enjoying that sunshine pretty soon, very quickly. So next 12-hour shows will make it to the upper 60s yet again. We are on repeat here day after day. Inland, expecting to see those low to mid 70s. Satellite radar is showing that it's not just an issue that San Diego has. It is an issue across Southern California. So coming up, we'll talk about whether or not we see any changes in sight going into the end of the week or the weekend, because we do have a couple days in there where we might see a more dense marine layer on hand with us. Back to you.
Evan, thank you very much. And now this morning, San Diego Mayor Todd Gloria will release a revised city budget.
Well, people have been voicing concerns about these proposed budget cuts. CBS 8's Regina Yarita live along Harbor Island with what the mayor says are included in his revision here. Regina.
Yeah, good morning, Eric and Neda. And look, this all comes after last month, Mayor Todd Gloria actually released a drafted budget, one budget that not many people were happy with, especially after noticing where all those numbers were going to. So take a look at this video. This was from last week. Community organizers were frustrated. These are demonstrators outside of the administrative building. Many argue that the mayor's drafted budget fails to address the root causes of homelessness. They say it doesn't take action to mitigate climate change and environmental justice communities, and that it fails to support immigrant and refugee communities, seniors, and youth. There were also flood victims who are also upset and shared their frustration. Now, the city is facing a $137 million budget deficit, and Mayor Gloria had proposed cuts to several programs, including the Office of Immigrant Affairs and the Climate Equity Fund. The city says the budget that's expected to be released today avoids major impacts such as shutdowns of public facilities like fire stations, libraries, recreation centers, and pools. It also includes funding a number of programs that were not included in the draft budget released in April. Now, in a news conference last week, council member of District 8, Vivian Romero, also actually shared her input and some of her frustration on this drafted budget. Take a listen.
On one hand, there are unacceptable cuts like free Wi-Fi at our rec centers, library programming cuts, after-school hour and teen center programming cuts. These cuts hurt kids in underserved communities. They hurt neighborhoods that I represent in District 8.
And so Mayor Todd Gloria is expected to release a revised drafted budget. Now, on June 7th, the Review Budget Committee will hold another meeting. The final adoption for this budget will be on June 11th. That's latest here in Harbor Island. I'll send things back to you guys.
This is new video shown in court of a suspect admitting to shooting his wife.
This former TikTok star accused of killing his wife and another man. CBS 8's Chris Groh joining us live downtown as testimony resumes this morning. Chris.
Good morning, and this was surveillance video and audio that was played in the courtroom yesterday. Much of it, again, very hard to listen to. Some of you at home may find it disturbing, but here's the moment after gunshots were heard inside of that East Village unit, and you could see Ali Abulaban leave the unit and then have this conversation on the phone. And this was all captured by a neighbor's Nest camera. At one point, you can see Ali Abulaban walk in and immediately shoot his wife, Anna, and 29-year-old Rayburn Barron as they sat on a couch. You then again hear Abulaban yelling Anna's name. Then on the phone there with his mom admitting to the crime. 6 gunshots could be heard prior to that. Now, as for where this trial is going, Abulaban's defense is not denying that Ali killed the pair. Instead, they're claiming that Abulaban wasn't thinking clearly and instead was distraught over the ending of his marriage and that Anna had just asked him to move out. On top of that video evidence that played in court, we also learned from a detective who testified about analyzing Abulaban's social media activity, which was mostly about conversations that Ali had about troubles in his marriage. Now, on the morning of the killings, there was also some video that shows him return to that apartment where he supposedly vandalized the unit and then installed an app on their daughter's iPad that allowed him to listen to live audio. And that's how he found that both victims were on the couch laughing. And that's apparently what motivated him to come over to kill the pair. Now, Abulaban is expected to testify at some point during this trial, and it is expected to last about a week or 2 longer. Eric and Netta.
Wow. All right, Chris, thank you for that. And now new information, this morning on a car crash in Fallbrook that killed 4 people. We're now learning 2 of the victims were prominent Bay Area political figures, Peggy Moore and her wife, Hope Wood, who you see here. They met while campaigning for President Obama in 2008. Oakland's former mayor is remembering them.
2 people who were so full of life and love and energy and spirit.
Now, this crash happened Friday night here in the Fallbrook area. CHP says a sedan driving east on the 76 crossed into the westbound lane and hit the couple's truck head on. The cause of that crash is still under investigation. Right now, San Diego Police Department officially welcoming a new chief of police after City Council voted to approve current Assistant Chief Scott Wall. This comes as Chief David Nislight retires. Wall began his career in service for the San Diego Police Department 26 years ago. He will take over on June 7th.
Right now, Red Lobster in Mira Mesa is closed as the chain faces a possible bankruptcy. The company shuttered dozens of locations yesterday. Analysts say factors include rising rents, poor management, and an aging customer base. An all-you-can-eat endless shrimp promotion last summer also didn't help.
Way too many people participated at way too low of a price. And so the gross profit on that menu item was way too low, and it caused Red Lobster to miss their earnings.
The Red Lobster website shows the Chula Vista and Sports Arena locations are still open. Meantime, kitchen equipment and furniture for the closed locations are already being auctioned off online.
So if you need a giant shrimp maker,
I believe Americans took it as a challenge for this endless shrimp
you can
thing.
still make reservations there.
How many shrimps can you eat? Yeah, I did go to check out the Sports Arena location. I made a reservation for 2.
There we go.
Something no one's ever done at Red Lobster.
Don't
people just walk in?
They still have the biscuits, though, right?
They have. I will say, those
They're
biscuits
so
are
good.
fire. They're
And
so good.
Clearly, people love their shrimp. I mean,
all you can eat.
Did you request a specific table?
When I think about all you can eat
booth
shrimp,
in the corner.
I'm like, how many shrimp would I eat?
They're little. You could eat a lot.
Dozens.
They're not that big.
Dozens and dozens.
Apparently enough to
And what-
cause
Shut
them to
it
go
down,
bankrupt.
Shrimp scampi.
Yeah,
fried
so many.
shrimp,
That's true. Do those
cocktail
are
shrimp.
those included?
You can try any kind you
Okay.
want.
Well, then in that case, yes. Okay, I take my statement back. I could eat quite a few shrimp. We are looking at temperatures mostly in the 50s out the door right now. 58 in Oceanside, 56 in Carlsbad, 55 in El Cajon, and 52 in Ramona. We've left the 40s behind thanks to that dense marine layer that is built on shore. It is stretching all the way to the western slopes of the mountains, but it will not last for long. We'll watch as those clouds pull back from our inland valleys first, and then the coastline will see that sunshine prevail. Coastal communities, though, are going to be hard-pressed to encounter sunshine for a good portion of the day. They have a specific window in there, maybe about 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. or so, that we're expecting some sunshine, but their window is much smaller than our inland valleys, just because that marine layer tends to hang out along the coastline. Yesterday, we made it to 2 degrees shy of average, 67 degrees. There have been some days where we hit average, 69. However, we just haven't really gotten above average in the last 2 weeks. Average is 69 degrees. So you see how the last 2 weeks have not been too wonderful to us in terms of reaching an above average temperature. Climate Prediction Center, however, says that we are on track for a warmer next 6 to 10 days. Probability of above average temperatures for the western U.S. is about 60, maybe 70%. That's some good news if you're hoping for some of those warmer temperatures. And it makes sense considering our deserts, for example, could be hitting the triple digits as early as the end of this week. Rain chances stay low, shouldn't come as a big surprise. We're staying dry over the course of the week, weekend, and into next week. Let's check in on traffic this morning. It's 6:11 right now. We earlier, about a half hour ago, brought you to a stalled vehicle on the 54. This is still in play. CHP on scene. Exit ramp from the 54 eastbound. The exit is Woodman Street. That northbound lane is blocked right now with the stalled vehicle. CHP is on scene. Volume still very light, so it's not causing any major backups. You can see how volume on the 5 and the 805, however, is starting to pick up. Let's check in on what we have as far as your border wait times. San Ysidro Port of Entry yesterday was about 3 hours of waiting. Now you're down to about an hour 40, so it's still quite a while. Otay Mesa Port of Entry is actually going to take you longer. Usually is a little bit of a quicker route, but right now is at 110 minutes, so nearly 2 hours of waiting for the Otay Mesa Port of Entry. Back to you.
Scientists are looking into controlling a plant's root direction to save crops and to slow down the impacts of climate change in an Earth 8 report.